When I was a student in the high school seminary, I remember that we would gather each evening after having studied until 9 o'clock to go to the chapel and to say night prayers. And we always concluded our night prayers by saying the litany to the Blessed Mother. There, in the darkness of the chapel, moving to the rhythm of this litany of the Blessed Virgin Mary, I remember looking up and seeing the shrine of our Mother Perpetual Help bathed in a very soft light, gazing out over us as we knelt in prayer. This very tender image and this very soft light of a mother holding her child, for me, and I'm sure for many other high school boys, was a great consolation for us, because so many of us were so far away from home, hundreds of miles away from home. I have to say, some nights she was truly our mother. She was a refuge and a strength. As the litany goes, she was our amiable mother, our admirable mother. Some nights she was our comfort in our afflictions, and she was like a tower of ivory or the house of gold. But my favorite title, which wasn't actually in the litany itself, was something that I always added just at the end of the litany, and that was Star of the Sea. Now, perhaps it was the alliteration in that title that I liked so much. Or maybe it was my love for the stars, which had come because my father was a captain in the Navy. Perhaps it was the fact that the icon up there in the shrine was bathed in a soft light, and it looked so much like a star in the darkness of the chapel, shining down upon what looked like a wave of bobbing heads. Perhaps it was that all too familiar sense that I would often have during the course of the week, where after having not done so well in a few tests or not having heard from home for a while, I felt a little lost or lonely or caught in my own sins and fears and hardships. But whatever the reason was, I found myself always inclined to quietly pray just at the very end of the litany, "O Star of the Sea, pray for me." Just a simple story, I'm telling you, joined to many, believe it or not, generations of Christians who addressed Mary with this title and many other titles bearing the image of light. Titles like Light of the Despairing, Daughter of the Light Unapproachable, Bright Moon of Purity, Spotless Sun, Living Light of Holiness, Morning Star. Believe it or not, Star of the Sea was the one title that prevailed over all these generations of time. Believe it or not, one time sailors all over the world would dedicate or consecrate their boats to this particular title. They sought her protection in dangerous sea voyages. They christened their boats in her honor. They paid homage to her in shrines all along the coast. Here in Boston, down by the water, there is a church called Star of the Sea. And throughout time, many Christians, envisioning life like a voyage on an open sea, drew comfort in seeking the guiding light of Mary, Star of the Sea. One example would be one of my favorite saints, St. Bernard of Clairvaux. Listen to this classic meditation that he wrote, sent hundreds of years ago. O you who feel yourself tossed by tempests in the midst of the shoals of this world, turn not away your eyes from the Star of the Sea. If the winds of temptation blow, if tribulations rise up like rocks before you, a look at the star, a sigh towards Mary. If the waves of pride, ambition, calumny, jealousy seek to swallow up the soul, a look toward the star, a prayer to Mary. If anger, love of sin, trouble of conscience, dread of the judgments of God begin to plunge you into the gulf of sadness, the abyss of despair, attach your heart to Mary. Following her, you cannot wander. If she favor the voyage, you will reach the harbor of safety. What makes this very simple image so valuable for us today? Well, like the faithful in the past, the church reminds us that we are a pilgrim people, and we're called to be on a journey of faith. And sometimes we move ahead, and sometimes we fall behind. Sometimes we wander in circles, and sometimes we lose our way. And on this pilgrim voyage that is so often dark and stormy, we watch for stars to indicate the route. Now, of course, Christ is our true light. He is the sun that always shines before us, drawing us toward the horizon of eternity. Without the light of Christ in our lives are meaningless, and we can easily be lost. But believe it or not, when we are in the darkness, we can't always see the sun, and sometimes we lack the hope in believing that Christ will rise again in our hearts. And Mary's role is to shine for us and to show us the way to her Son. As our star of the sea, it's important to realize that her light is not her own. It comes from her Son, Jesus, and it shines on us. She is a mirror. She reflects the light of Christ. She shines for those who are in the night of faith. And when the sun rises again like a star, she withdraws like the morning light. When Christ comes into a soul, Mary withdraws and says, like John the Baptist, "The joy of mine is now full. He must increase, but I must decrease." If you look closely today at this icon of our Mother of Perpetual Help, particularly in silent prayer, you'll notice that there is a star just on the top of her veil. Right on her forehead, there's an 8-pointed star. In general, when it comes to icons painted of Mary, stars with 8 points are meant to highlight Mary's role in restoring us to perfection. When we gaze on the icon, our eyes fall on Mary's star, and we are being invited to find an anchor of hope in the midst of chaos. We believe that when all seems to be chaos and we don't know where to find hope or salvation, God is still in charge. And sooner or later, God will exercise his power over the waters. The waves will part, and we will be safe and sound on dry land. This is not just myth, and this is not just stories. It is the truth that was revealed to us once and for all through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And as we struggle through the chaos of our lives and our world, may we cling to this faith, and may we constantly find it fostered by our love for Mary, our Mother of Perpetual Help, and our Star of the Sea.